Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soulspace Podcast number 113.
Welcome.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just joining us for the first time, I'm Carissa.
And I'm Tracy, and we are collectively at Soulspace.
Yes. And if you're interested in more about what we're doing coming up, classes and events and things like that, please either watch the end of the video or check out the end of the video, and we'll talk about what we have coming up that you might be interested in attending.
Yeah, we always do a little spiel at the end of what we're up to and what's going on in our world. So,
So stay tuned. This month we decided to do a new topic and a book that we haven't talked about for years.
Right.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, we studied this book, both of us, when we were getting certified for life coaching, and it's such a good book.
It is. And the book we're talking about is U Squared by Price Pritchett.
Yeah, it's just a tiny little book, but it's jam-packed with so much goodness, and it really is, it really helps you catapult your life in a good way. So
yeah, I really like this one. I think it challenges a lot of beliefs and belief structures, and also life habits and different things that, a lot of people don't think to question,
right,
which helps them to really break out of the cycle of repeat.
Yeah. A lot of the things that we learned by osmosis probably when we were young that we don't really agree with anymore, or we don't want those habits or whatever. So we're trying to retrain our brains and into a better way of being. So this is a good book to start with. So
yeah, and if you're not really a big reader, this has like small snippets, like the chapters are super short.
Yeah.
And it's just a small book. So it's really, it's an easy read. And the way that he writes is easy to read it as well.
Yeah.
I like the way that he introduces concepts. So as we're going through it together, you guys will kind of see what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's good. So let's start.
Let's get started.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I was looking at mine today. I hadn't looked at it in a while, and I have so much highlighted in it. It's pretty cool. I love to look back and see what I thought was interesting, the first time through, and then I usually use a different color on some, or just a pen, and it's like different times that you read it, so much other things jump out at you. So it's cool.
Every time you hear a lecture or you read a book, there's always gold nuggets that you missed the first or second time around.
Right. Yeah.
Or you see it in a new way, or it clicks in a new way. And that's what's exciting about learning, is you're always getting something new every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's fun about little books like this, because they're packed full of information that the more you read it, the more you catch it and the more you understand it. Right. So these are cool books, and there's a few good ones like this that we'll maybe visit in the podcast. And it's just neat to see how much you've progressed, like the second time around and the third time around. And they're just such easy reads that it's fun to just pick up and read them quick. So
and Price Pritchett has quite a few great books like this, and that go along with it. He has like a whole Quantum Leap series that he does. So
really cool.
It's really awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so first page is, if you do not expect it, you will not find the unexpected, for it's hard to find and difficult. And that is from
Heraclitus.
Good.
500 BC.
Yeah.
Give me the Greek names all day.
He's good at the names. I'm not. Awesome. Okay, you want to read a little?
I would be happy to. Okay. A true story. I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden among the pine trees about an hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life's energies in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The winding wings tell the poignant story of the fly's strategy. Try harder. But it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. This fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is open. 10 seconds of flying time, and this little creature could reach the outside world it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could be free of this self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach? Something dramatically different. How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with, quote, more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer any real promise for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hopes for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. Price Pritchett.
I love that. That's a highlighted part for me. Yeah, it's such a cool, I love that story. And I remember when we were going through one of the coaching certification classes, one of our teachers and coaches had a hummingbird stuck in their garage, and it was the same scenario. It kept bumping into the window and it couldn't get out. And he did get it to be calm enough to catch the bird and carry it outside, and it took off. And it rang so true to the story, of how just looking a different way or trying something new can make your journey so much easier, or whatever you're trying. When you can't get past that window, it's a sign to try something else, right?
It's a sign to look around for the open door.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like when we talk about what Abraham says, the more you try to paddle upstream, the more tired you get.
Right.
And the less area you actually cover. If you let go and allow yourself to flow with the stream.
Yeah.
That's where the solutions are. That's where the joy is. That's where all of the things that you've been asking for are, when you let go of the struggle, the resistance.
Yeah.
So if the fly had taken a moment, let go of the resistance, and looked around,
he
could have flown right out the door.
Yeah. Yeah. So simple.
So simple. Yet, in order to see that other solution, you would have to let go of your current struggle that you're in.
Right.
And begin to look around for those other solutions, for those other things, for the other direction, the other route, or even just the solution to letting go of that resistance so you can calm yourself enough to see what's around you.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot, to not be in the problem orientation or problem mindset, rather be in the solution mindset.
Right.
And looking around and finding something different that is going to get us to a different place a lot easier.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Okay.
Amazing.
The promise. Are you ready for this? You don't have to be content with improving things incrementally or gradually. You can take a quantum leap.
I like that.
Yeah.
When I read that again, it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah.
It's your belief.
It really is. Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. Okay. Right now, in this moment, you are capable of exponential improvement in your performance. You can multiply your personal effectiveness, hit new heights, and shatter your old achievement records. The results you can have will be hard for you to imagine. You can become U squared. You don't have to settle for things as they are now. That can change dramatically. If you're ready, life is prepared to give you a breakthrough experience. You can jump to a higher orbit of achievement, live the dream, enjoy a completely different plane of success. Also, you don't have to be content with improving things incrementally or gradually. Just as your level of performance can improve drastically, so can your rate of accomplishment. Furthermore, the U squared formula requires far less effort than you've given in the past. You haven't been reaching your full potential. So far, you haven't even come close. No matter how you wish to measure success, regardless of how you define achievement, you have barely scratched the surface of what you personally can accomplish. But maybe the time has come to change all that. Maybe you're ready to make a quantum leap. Yay. So good.
Love it.
Yeah.
Quantum leaps.
Mhm.
To put it simply, as human beings, we are going to have to reframe our ideas about the universe and how we fit into it. One of my favorite things to do. Quantum leap is a term taken from the vocabulary of quantum physics, the science behind such technological breakthroughs as lasers, computers, space communication, and nuclear energy. One of my favorite topics. Also,
Yeah.
by the way, quantum physics is described as the most powerful science ever conceived by human beings. It requires a major rethinking of such concepts as time and space and how human consciousness operates. Quantum physics also has staggering implications regarding you, your potential, and the power of your mind. To put it simply, as human beings, we are going to have to reframe our ideas about the universe and how we fit into it. Fred Alan Wolf, in his award-winning book titled Taking the Quantum Leap, describes the term as, quote, the explosive jump that a particle of matter undergoes in moving from one place to another. In a figurative sense, taking the quantum leap means taking a risk, going off into an uncharted territory with no guide to follow. End quote. Physicists studying quantum mechanics note that particles make these jumps without apparent effort and without covering all the bases between the starting and ending points. What's going on here? How does this happen? And is it possible for you as an individual to do something very similar in your personal performance? I really love how they talk about that, how, like they said, particles can just be one place and then another.
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch them float from one place to the other. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Right.
But when you talk about like quarks and neutrinos, they can just be in one place and then another.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that they're also kind of very lightly touching on is the observer effect.
Right. Yep. And we talked a little bit about that last week. Yeah. It is so cool to think about and to wonder about and to think about, could this be true? I mean, if you let yourself go down the wormhole just a little bit,
Which you
or
should.
a lot,
Which you should.
like we love to do, it's amazing to think about what you can accomplish if you allow this to be true, right?
Right. And one thing that I was thinking about is, so in quantum physics at a very basic level, the observer effect means when you observe something that causes something to happen, right? Or you see the effect of it, whatever. When you observe, it has a different effect than if you're not observing.
Right.
And one thing that I was thinking about is, well, at the basic level, we know that what we focus on, we get more of. So think about this. If you have an idea of where you want your life to be,
yeah,
and in your mind, you're viewing yourself in that moment, you're observing it happening in real time in your imagination.
Yeah.
Well, we know that in quantum physics, when you observe something, that has an effect.
Yeah.
So if you observe in your imagination the effect that you want to have on your life and want it to look like and feel like and be like in that moment, you are creating that.
Exactly.
Right? And so that kind of backs up that theory of your imagination. We know that your mind doesn't know the difference between imagining something and something actually happening.
Right.
So perhaps there isn't a difference when we're talking on the quantum level. So, I mean, consider that.
Yeah.
Consider it. Mull it around in your mind for a little bit. Is what Carissa's saying making sense to me?
Right.
And if it isn't, that's okay. Keep it in the back of your mind as food for thought. It might click later.
Yeah.
Or maybe you get it. You're like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. Either way, it's all good. But in my mind, it's like, no, there's a little inkling here or something.
It's exciting to study and to explore it.
It is. It is amazing what we're capable of. We're capable of more than we think we are. And there's actually a particular technique that kind of shows us that. And if we have time, I'd like to maybe do that with our little audience we have.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna like it.
We can do that.
Okay. Remind me maybe if that.
Yeah.
Okay. The next chapter is called U Squared. Most people operate with a mindset that assumes success comes one step at a time. The unspoken but popular notion is that we must move systematically from our present level of achievement to the next. Then, the thinking goes, from that stage we can begin working toward graduating to still the next higher level in the sequence. Gradual progress. U squared implies an explosive jump in your personal performance that puts you far beyond the next logical step. So they're talking about gradual progress, right? This is an unfortunate misconception, and it's clearly reflected in the way people function. They go about day to day striving to make incremental gains in their performance. It's pretty routine. That's the pathway of conventional growth. But your life simply does not always have to operate that way. Advancing at a measured pace, step by step, from where you are to a little bit better, ordinarily feels easier, more natural, and even safer. But in certain areas of your life, you can just as easily think in terms of skipping levels. You can move from your present level of achievement to one that is several stages higher, directly. You make the quantum leap. You become U squared. Instead of accepting present circumstances or being content with gradual improvement, you go for a breakthrough. U squared implies an explosive jump in your personal performance that puts you far beyond the next logical step. It's a formula for stunning advances in achievement and the realization of your dreams. The concept is one of exponential gains rather than incremental progress. You might compare it to multiplying instead of adding. It means a geometric progression in your effectiveness. That's exciting as well as provocative, but it gets even better. Remember, quantum leaps can come without apparent effort. These are high velocity moves that carry you to dramatically higher performance levels without a time-consuming struggle. Quantum leaps seem to violate common sense, utterly. The idea of moving to a higher orbit and skipping several rungs on the achievement ladder in the process strikes people as far-fetched, maybe even outrageous. After the fact, quantum leaps may be viewed as practical, sensible, even obvious moves, but they typically do not come to you as the obvious moves in the moment. Usually, it's in retrospect that you perceive their hidden logic and elegance. Invariably, quantum leaps are not complex or intricate maneuvers. They tend to be simple, energy efficient, and time-saving. U squared, the quantum leap strategy, can deliver these special dreams and ambitions that you instinctively feel should be yours, but the breakthrough demands a radical departure from some of your habits.
So good. And when you think about it, some of those habits that you just automatically do all the time, maybe you need to examine them a little bit and think, is this really getting me where I want to be? And
Right.
why am I doing it? Why can't I skip that part? And you can.
You
really
can.
Yeah. And that's kind of what that's talking about, just why not take a quantum leap rather than baby steps?
Well, and think about this. Wouldn't it be fun to have a quantum leap in your life, in any area of your life,
Right.
and to all of a sudden just be from here to here and go, wow,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that again.
Let's do it some more. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of fun to think of it as a fun, as an adventure, as something amazing that could occur in your life
Right.
that jumps you up to that next level
Yeah.
in any area.
And what's it gonna hurt to try? I mean, make it fun. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't work for you the first time, okay, try it again.
Well, you had fun, didn't you?
Yeah.
So everything is worth
And
it if
you
it's a little bit of
probably
fun.
learned, yeah, you learned some things, so yeah.
Mhm.
So change your personal rules for success. Leveraging up your personal effectiveness by an order of magnitude, going from U to U squared, is not a commonplace idea. You should not be surprised to hear that unconventional success calls for unconventional approaches. If you want to accelerate your rate of achievement rapidly, you must search out and vigorously employ new behaviors. Quantum leaps require paradoxical behavior, unusual moves, actions that on the surface often seem to contradict common sense. As human beings, though we ordinarily go with the obvious, we fall into the habit of relying on behaviors that seem to have worked best for us over the years. When we take an approach that seems to be very serviceable and which enables us to perform well and succeed, we become very attached to it. We don't readily relinquish that habit pattern. In fact, there's a tendency to follow our favorite approach more and more often, such that we get better and better at handling things that particular way. This adroitness with a certain approach results in our overdependence on the strategies and tactics it involves. We resist new maneuvers because they make us feel clumsy, awkward, and more at risk. But if you want to accelerate your rate of achievement rapidly, you must search out and vigorously employ new behaviors, new attitudes. You must be willing to break out of your routines in order to make the quantum leap. The things that worked for you in the past very likely could, sooner or later, lose their serviceability. Even if your customary approach still holds promise for maintaining your present level of performance and growth curve, it may not help much if we want to hit far higher achievement levels. And if you continue to rely on those old routines, maybe even leaning on them most when your performance flattens out or sags, you create a trap for yourself. There is a certain irony here. Your historically most dependable behaviors can become the major obstacles to future success. It's possible for them to cripple the process. They may stand as personal boundary lines that limit what you can accomplish with your life. That is, however, another course of action. It is the way of the quantum leap, U squared. The following chapters explain the peculiar strategy that is involved. So sometimes it's not so good to get comfortable being comfortable and doing the same things over and over and over. That might, it might be okay, but it's not going to get you to that quantum leap. It might keep you comfortable and maybe doing okay, but it's not going to get you to where you really want to be.
Right, because doing the exact same thing over and over and over again is going to get you the same results.
Yeah.
And so doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in order to get different results, something needs to change.
Yeah.
And so what's nice about this book is it's going to lay out some of the things to help you to move out of those patterns of behavior so that you can begin to see the change.
And sometimes we get so complacent in what we're doing, and it's what everybody else is doing. So it feels like, oh, it's okay.
Everybody else is doing it, so it must be all right.
Yeah. But if you are in the mindset and have bigger dreams or bigger, you don't want to just have that mundane same life. You need to try something different.
And if you love the way that things are, perfect. That's great.
Right.
But every single one of us always has something we're striving towards, something we're interested in, something we want to see in our lives that isn't there yet.
Yeah.
And so this is a way to begin to create that something new.
Yeah.
Because if life is great, awesome. But it can be even better than that.
Right.
And isn't that fun to know?
Yeah.
That if life is great, it can get even better.
Yeah.
How exciting to see how that could be and to watch it unfold.
Yeah. And a lot of times when we're in that comfortable space where we're okay, everything's fine. But when I hear that, I think I'm fine.
I know. I think of like the building burning down. And I'm
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't have to be that bad.
No, it doesn't.
But you forget that what you're missing out on, what it could be.
The potential that's there is exponentially larger than you even know.
Right.
Than you even could dream is possible.
Yeah.
And
that is the fun thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Quit trying harder. I like that title.
I do too.
More of the same usually just gives you more of the same. Interesting.
Yeah.
Quantum leaps cannot be achieved through incremental steps or through, quote, more of the same. You've got to shift gears. You have to follow new patterns of thought and action. The rules of what works and what doesn't always change when you are trying to make a move from normal performance to U squared. Stop and think about it. Here's the way it goes. More of the same usually just gives you more of the same. Of course, if that's mainly what you're after, fine. Try a little harder and get a little bigger payoff. Try a little harder and you can expect a lot better results. Right? Well, possibly, but it's definitely not a sure thing. Sooner or later, you're going to reach the point where you can't try any harder. It may be that your spirit flags or that your physical and mental resources are stretched to the limit. And often, well before you come to that set of circumstances, you reach the point of diminishing return. Trying harder and harder starts producing less and less. Sometimes, in fact, intensifying your efforts produces nothing except bigger problems. As a case in point, we go back to the story of the fly. That little insect could have turned away from the window 180 degrees and followed the path of least resistance as it flew to the open door. A quantum leap to freedom. 10 seconds of effortless flight would have produced total success, while hours of frustration and panic spent beating its wings against the glass were destined to end fruitlessly in death on the dusty windowsill. Now that is not an argument against self-discipline or persistence. Those are virtues. Over a lifetime, they can make a powerful contribution to success and achievement. They are fundamental to the development of your talents. It's extremely important to apply yourself diligently, and sometimes staying power is what delivers a big win. But ordinarily, you will find that trying harder produces only incremental gains, not quantum leaps. Also keep in mind that trying harder, even a lot harder, sometimes offers little more than a straight path to burnout. Attempting to succeed through more of the same, being resolute and relying on committed effort, can blind you to better pathways. If you want to make a quantum leap, quit thinking about trying harder. More effort isn't the answer.
I like that.
I like that too. It just reminds me, I just see in my mind this paddling upstream, trying to paddle upstream and paddle upstream and paddle upstream. And you just get so tired. But you finally let go and let the boat start to roll down the stream without you doing anything. And then you see, oh, what's that? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I've never seen that before. And all of a sudden, you're just rolling on the stream, enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And to think about it that way gives you a visual of kind of what they're talking about. They're talking about letting go of the resistance and letting go of trying so hard, because the more you push, the more there's pushback, right? What you resist persists.
Yep.
And so if you feel like you're coming up to a wall, that's the time to pivot. Just like the fly, if the fly had pivoted 180 degrees,
Yeah.
both physically, mentally, emotionally, everything,
Right.
it would have found the open door that was there for
It
them.
would have, yeah. Yeah, and if we can just see that when it's happening to us, and it takes practice to do that, but if noticing it and doing something different is just that's all it takes a lot of times.
Maybe doing a check-in with how
Right.
you're feeling.
Yeah, maybe.
How your body's doing.
Yeah.
We talk about that every week. If you're watching for the first time, we talk about that every week. How
Yeah.
important it is to check in with yourself. Where am I at emotionally? Because that tells me where I'm at vibrationally.
Yeah.
Am I meeting myself where I want to be right now?
Yeah, and it's so many times, if not every time, you just take a step back and do that, something's going to come your way. So a new light on the subject, or a new, prospect, or a new something is going to come that's going to say, hey, it's over here. This way is a lot easier, this way is going to be way more fun than doing the same thing over and over and over. You can, things open up so much more when you just take a step back and let go a little bit.
Let go a little bit, and maybe take a pause, couple deep breaths,
check in. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So ignore conventional approaches. Get ruthless about trying something different. Ricochet, if you're trying to climb over the wall, open the door and walk through. If you're pushing against the river, try going with the flow. Imagine that. So ordinarily, we achieve conventional growth because we think along conventional lines. We experience reasonable performance gains because we rely on reasonable approaches. We find ways to make modest improvement in our level of success because we go looking for nothing more. Quantum leaps require you to abandon the status quo. Instead of once again trying what you have always done, maybe with even more intensity and determination, ignore the usual. U squared requires an abrupt change in behavior. Look for a paradoxical move. For example, consider reversing your field. Try being illogical. Ricochet. If you're trying to climb over the wall, open a door and walk through it. If you're pushing against the river, try going with the flow. Use finesse instead of effort. You must do something new. The tendency when you stall out or begin to level off in your performance is to go back to the basics and do what you do best. But doing what you do best can be the worst thing you could do. It really doesn't matter how well you can do something if it's the wrong thing to do. Faith in the familiar sets the trap, and you spring it when you reinvest yourself in what logically seems like it should work because it usually worked in the past. To make a quantum leap, you've got to break out of the rut where you've been running. Second guess your routines, overcome the addiction to your old methodologies, set a new pattern. If things you're doing have quit working, stop doing them. Focus on what works. If you'll just quit what you've been doing instead of doggedly doing it harder, you at least create an opportunity, some white space to do something else. I love that. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in, okay, this is how I have to do this. This is how I have to do this. This is how I have to do this. And we forget that there's different ways we can do it. It's so
True.
we get stuck in that rut so often. So quantum leaps come when you seek the elegant solution. So look for an approach characterized by simplicity, precision, efficiency, neatness. It won't be as complex or time consuming as your present struggle. Overall, it will be less demanding of your energies and emotions, and it probably will not be familiar to you. U squared calls for a fresh perspective, a deft move, a path of less resistance. There is a way you can do more with less.
Provocative.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do too.
All right. So think beyond what common sense would allow. A 10 or 20% improvement isn't the idea at all. That would represent only incremental gains. Most of us can be found flying too close to the ground. Too often, we don't give ourselves permission to soar.
That's a really good quote.
I think that's really important for us to remember is like, are we holding ourselves in that pattern because we're afraid to fly higher?
Yeah. Sometimes fear of success is a real big thing.
It's a lot of people's problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem that not a lot of people realize that they have because they're like, well, of course I want to be successful. Yes, but is your fear of it, even subconsciously, one of the things that's holding you back? I would say in like probably at least 85% of people, the answer is yes. At least 85% of the people that haven't achieved some even level of success that they've wanted for their life. You know, that's a really common thing that not a lot of people realize they have. So check in with yourself on that. Is there some level of fear there that if I'm successful, is there something to fear in that change? What is it that I'm afraid of? So you can begin to let go of that.
Or do some freedom release on.
You can do some freedom release method on it. Isn't that shocking? If you don't know what the freedom release method is, it is a methodology that we use in our coaching and in our own lives, which is life-changing. And that we have done quite a few podcasts on it. So look for other podcasts on the freedom release method. Okay. It's time to start focusing on possibilities rather than on the limits or obstacles. So what you get is what you focus on, right? Focus on possibilities rather than limits or obstacles. I love that. Making a quantum leap means moving outside of your mental boundaries. If you will rethink how you're thinking, you can multiply your performance potential. You must let your desires guide you instead of allowing yourself to be boxed in by perceived constraints. I think that's really important because to realize that we have constraints that we've put on ourselves, which aren't real, but we're limiting ourselves in different ways for different reasons. And to think about what are some of those imagined limits.
And 9 times out of 10, those are imagined limits. And when you think about it and notice them and really ask yourself, why am I putting those limits on myself? You'll start to make those quantum changes. And you'll just question, why would I do that to myself? Why am I holding myself back in places where I shouldn't or where I don't need to?
Why?
Why? Ask. Make that be your mission this week.
Ask yourself. Where am I limiting myself? So you can become more aware so you can begin to let it go. Seeking the quantum leap means violating the boundary of the probable. It means achieving well beyond the obvious. So don't limit your desires to what you think you can have. Start going after what you want. This means you must give yourself permission to dream, to risk. You must set yourself free. 10 or 20% improvement isn't the idea at all. That would represent only incremental gains. That might be an impressive performance in some situations, like if there were unusual obstacles or a very difficult set of circumstances. But while such a goal might be challenging, it would not represent a quantum leap. Instead of an additional 10% or so, a quantum leap produces a dramatic and multiple gain, an exponential increase. Quantum leaps are by definition rather astounding, certainly unconventional. Don't get the idea that absolutely anything you can think of is possible. It isn't. But in some areas of your life, what lies within your reach is enough to stagger the mind. You can double your level of success, triple it. Far beyond that, you can leverage up your performance to the second or third or fourth power, or beyond. True, there are limits, but you don't need to worry about them. Your real limits are far beyond your artificial mental boundaries. The real limits won't box you in, but the false ones you're carrying around in your mind are a self-imposed prison. So how do you break out of that jail? Through surrender. You have to forfeit some of your old beliefs and sacrifice some of those sensible thinking patterns. So-called common sense can be a curse that puts a ceiling on how far you reach or how high you fly. U squared, the quantum leap strategy, is based on uncommon sense.
That's so good. When you think about things, wait, I forgot my thought here. It's like we've talked about so many times before that we keep holding ourselves back and not checking in, thinking about things that we could have, should have, would have done, where if we would just do those things without even thinking about it, we could get so much farther and create the goal or the dream that we want in days instead of years.
Put it out there and get out of your own way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting because a lot of what holds us back is we think of, well, I have to do this, then 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 I have to do this, and you get so bogged down and overwhelmed, it never comes to fruition.
Right.
Rather than putting it out there and getting out of the way.
Yeah, we make it so much harder than it has to be most of the time.
And more complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
One of my talents.
My talents, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think
we just limit ourselves so much. And we don't need to do that. And it's probably things that we were taught when we were little,
100%.
Yeah.
Most of those thoughts that have come to us came to us from other people and what they told us.
Yeah.
And then the other percent came from the basis of those thoughts that we started to tell ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think this would be a really good time to do the exercise that I talked about because it fits in perfectly with this. And then maybe we could end with that today. Yeah. And come back to this next week because there's so much
or go somewhere
good in this book.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good with, even though this is a tiny little book, you shouldn't read it all in one sitting because you won't absorb it.
Right.
And if you take it in small chunks and really think about it, maybe you read over it, a few times and it'll sink in and it'll start to make sense to you. It'll really become part of you. I remember Bob Proctor talking about in a program that I listened to of his, where he took a book and he carried it with him in his briefcase or whatever, everywhere he went all the time. Even though he wasn't reading it all the time, or every time he had a spare minute, he was still absorbing the knowledge of the book, and he kind of set that intention. I'm going to carry this book until I know it from cover to cover. And he would just read little snippets whenever he could, but it became part of him, and it was his biggest treasure, you know? So try that with this book and see how it affects your thinking.
Yeah, it fits in a bag really easily. Like this fits perfectly in my little purse.
Yeah.
Just boop.
Yeah.
Right in there. That's how I brought it to see my parents this weekend. Is it fit in my little purse?
Yeah. Takes no space whatsoever.
No, it's wonderful. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do your little exercise.
Okay, so I want everyone, if you can, stand up. It works best if you're standing. So we're going to do it together. I don't know if you can see us when we're standing, but we're going to try. Tracy, you're going to demonstrate.
Okay.
You have to be able to have a little bit of space behind you. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, so for all of you that are here, we'll just show you. So I want you to stand with your feet like shoulder width apart. Yeah, let's put it up a little bit. Okay, so I want you to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Okay, we do that. All right, so what I want you to do is I now want you to, and you're going to have to go sideways for this, is I want you to put your hand out like you're pointing at me. And I want you to reach as far back behind you as you can by just keeping your feet straight and just turning your body. Show me how far you can go with that finger. So I want you to point as far back behind you as you can. All right, now remember how far you got. Okay, you ready? All right, so now that we've done that, now I want you all to take a moment. I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Blow it out. One more. Okay, now I want you to imagine in your mind that you're doing the same exercise, just in your mind. I don't want you to do it. I just want you to imagine it in your mind vividly, that you're taking your finger and you're pointing it out in front of you, and you turn all the way halfway, 180 degrees. See yourself do that in your mind. You're turning 180 degrees. It's so easy. It feels so good. Okay, did you do it? Good. All right, now I want you to now imagine that you're doing the same exercise. You're pointing in front of you and you're turning, but you're turning all the way to your other shoulder. And you made it all the way there. And it was just so easy. And you feel yourself do that. Okay, good. Now I want you to imagine you're doing the same exercise again. And you're pointing your finger in front of you, but this time you turn all the way around till you're pointing your finger straight ahead again. You did a whole 360. See it in your mind. Feel it happen. Did you do it? Good. Okay. So now I want you to open your eyes and I want you to do this exercise again. Okay. So point in front of you, straight ahead. And now I want you, you're going to have to come this way a little bit. You're right behind the cabinet. There's a cabinet right behind you. Perfect. Okay. And so now I want you to take your finger and I want you to turn as far as you can. Do it again.
Oh, yeah.
How far did you get?
3/4 back farther than I did before.
Yeah. The first time you did it, you only made it to the lamp. The second time you made it all the way to the edge of the cabinet, which is about 4 feet further than the first time you did the exercise.
That's really cool.
Did you do that too? I know you did, because I did this exercise and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because the limits that you have on yourself are not real limits.
Yeah.
And you can go much further than you think you can. And it's not just metaphorical, it's also physical. And it's amazing what you're capable of, and you're not even aware of it. And if you watch Tracy do this exercise, you can see it was literally like 4 feet further than the first time she did it.
Yeah.
Because she thought she could only go so far. But then she saw herself going all the way around, and she made it 4 feet. She almost made it to her other shoulder.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so that just demonstrates to you that the limits that you have are only perceived limits. So what happens if you stretch yourself a little bit further,
Yeah.
even just in your mind? Your imagination is capable of creating far more than you think. And that's a physical way to demonstrate it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of coaches that do that with their, teams too. They do the visualizations before they go to the game, or they're running track or whatever. They're having their team see themselves winning the race or see themselves winning the game or throwing the pass or whatever it is. And when they can see it in their mind, that's when they're gonna do it.
You see it,
yeah,
you feel it, you create it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what you're capable of. It works with literally anything. And so the things that we teach you, the things that we talk about every week in our podcast are real. And the ways that we have changed our own lives and watch other people change their lives also through the work that we do. And so do this and think about it. This is actually a technique I learned from Tony Robbins.
Cool.
And Tony Robbins, I didn't really follow until the last few years. I was missing out on a lot. Not listening to Tony Robbins. Imagine that this person that has $9 billion worth of money in their companies is somebody that maybe I should listen to when I'm trying to create things in my life.
Right. Yeah, I have listened to him since the 90s. Yeah, that's crazy.
He does amazing things. And this is something that he did. I recently watched one of his workshops that he had, and that was one of the exercises that we did, and it blew my mind. It reinstated, reminded me of what I already know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we just need to allow ourselves to believe and to do.
To know that we're capable of far more and that our potential is far more than we think that it is.
Right.
Allow ourselves to fly a little bit higher, as Price would say. Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a good quote. Yeah. Awesome.
So we've given you a lot of food for thought for this week.
Yeah. So try some of these things. If you have this book, or if you don't, order it on Amazon. You'll get it in a couple days.
That's what I did, because I haven't had it in PDF form. So I ordered mine on Amazon last week.
Yeah. And mine's pretty well worn and read, but it's a good one to have and a good one to carry in your purse and just read a few pages whenever you have a minute.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So even just try the experiment a couple times and see how far you can go.
Maybe you can even go further the third time.
Yeah.
Or the fourth time.
Yeah.
Maybe you can twist yourself almost all the way around. I mean, who knows what we're capable of? I don't know. Don't hurt yourself. Be careful.
Right. Yeah.
Don't try to push yourself further. Allow yourself to go as far as you can go.
Don't wreck your back doing it.
But I take no responsibility for your own personal choices.
No. But you can do it with going for a walk a little further the next day. See yourself doing some of the things that you want to do and just dream about it. Think about it. Visualize yourself doing it and see how much further you get the next time you try it. No matter what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Well, we're going to dive deeper into this book next week. So, Carissa, where can we find you? Or what do we have coming up? What do you have?
We have a couple things coming up, don't we?
Yeah.
So next week, next Saturday, September 13th, 2025, I'm going to be in Deadwood at Souls of Spirit Expo at the Deadwood Mountain Grand. And it's one of my favorite expos and shows to be in. I'm going to be doing my angel and spirit guide readings, which I absolutely love to do. We're going to have tons of beautiful handmade jewelry and stones and things like that. My own personal angel smudge boxes. There's going to be a ton of amazing things there that we're going to have besides the readings, of course, because I love doing readings. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be really fun. So if you're going to be in the area, or even if you're not going to be in the area of Deadwood, South Dakota, come out and see us. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing show. It's always a really fun one, and it's always really cool and amazing people that come. And plus, it's a fun place to be. It's so beautiful.
The hills are the best.
Yeah. Being out in the hills, and we're going to take a couple days to just go putz around.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of my favorite places to go.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
It's just a great place.
It just feels good there, no matter what.
It's fun. It's a ton of fun. So I have that going on. We are working on a pretty amazing 3-person trio event that we're looking for space for here in locally, which is like the Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead area. So we're looking to do that in October and November. So we'll give more information as we build that out. It's going to be a really fun event. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But Tracy, I know that you have some really fun stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Junkin Market in West Fargo, the end of the month, September 26th, 27th. And I'm gonna be doing an art workshop there. That will be fun, featuring Chalk Couture products. That's exciting. I haven't done a workshop for a while with that stuff, so it'll be fun. Also, I'll be having some art for mental wellness. I call them artistic alchemy classes. Starting this month, I will have one, and October, probably one a month throughout the winter, the fall,
and those events are so fun.
Yeah,
they're amazing. I mean, I told her, I said, I'm not missing one. Make sure it's on days that I can come.
I know. Yeah, they're so good and so fun, and you always learn something about art and something about yourself. The classes, yeah,
it takes you out of
so fun.
Out of your normal patterns,
right?
Like we've been talking about
this,
and help you to move forward.
It definitely gets you a little quantum leap in your self improvement, self development. Yeah. So that's what I have so far.
Yeah.
And where can we find you, Carissa?
Oh, yeah. So the internet, if you want to find me on the internet, which some people do, you can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. I also have a Square site where you can purchase a couple of things and also purchase time with me as well. On my Square site, which is light-of-hope-healing.square.site, Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between each word, .square.site. Or you could find that site on my Facebook page.
The link. Yeah.
Yeah, the link on my Facebook page. Words.
Easy. Easy.
Words. Those are useful things.
Yeah.
But Tracy, where can people find you in the easiest and most wonderful way?
Yeah, I am at inspiredsignals.com. My links to my socials are on there, but you can also go to Facebook and Instagram. I am at Inspired Signals, and my art stuff is at Inspired Signals Studio. It's kind of a tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister, but it's easy to find.
Yeah. It's easy. Yeah. So I will be there. Come and find me.
Yeah. So join us for our events that are coming up. We'll continue to give you information on those. Come see me in Deadwood on September 13th. We're going to have a ton of fun. It'll be amazing. And you'll get to meet some of my family. My mom and my sister come with me every year to that event, and we have just an absolute blast.
That's so fun. That's so cool. And you can have fun with your family and work at the same time.
It's amazing. I think they work harder than I do.
It's good. And join us next week for some more U Squared.
It's going to be amazing. This is going to be a really fun month, guys. So
we're going to do some big quantum leaps this month. So join us for the fun.
All right, guys.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.